Hey guys, so today is the day of the market. I am about to move my stuff to the area and start setting up, so I'll be recording. All right, let's go, guys.
Are you videotaping us?
Guys.
Yeah. Made by?
Oh my gosh. It's hot. It's hot as I don't know what. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm still in shock that I am bending. I'm hot and I'm sweaty. I might have to change my outfit because I think I'm gonna sweat in it. But we'll see. We will see how it goes. To do a little bit of Q&A just to talk about my experience and key takeaways from my first time being a vendor. So let's get into the first question. The first question is, and if I'm looking over, it's because my notes are here. Let me try to move them. So my first question is, how early did you need to arrive to set up for your booth? So the event started at 3 p.m. and the check-in time for vendors was 1 p.m. So around about 12:30, 12:45 is when I gathered all my stuff to go to the event. And I was actually the first vendor to get there. When I arrived, there was a food truck there, but, well, not a food truck. They were just like a booth selling food, but I was the first one selling physical products that was there. And so that gave me enough time to find my location to start setting up. The next question is, were the setup instructions clear and the process smooth? Yes, the process was smooth and the setup instructions were clear. We were given a map beforehand with the location of all of the booths and food trucks. I set up in the location that was designated to me, but I will say there were some vendors that did not set up in the right space, which I don't think necessarily mattered, like in the grand scheme of things. I just try my best to follow instructions, and so yeah, I set up where I needed to, and that was very clear. The organizers for the event didn't come until maybe like a half hour into me setting up. So, I mean, it really wasn't an issue since I had my location beforehand. But I could see how if this was maybe like a larger event, it would have been an issue if the organizers were not there to give instructions or to direct. The next question is, Did you face any issues with your booth setup, such as space or logistics? I only had one issue with my booth setup, was that so I used a tent and the tent was on metal legs, and one of them somehow got broken during the process of me setting up. And so honestly, I prayed. I just asked the Lord to help me because I didn't know how to fix it. I've never set up a booth before, but it all worked out. I ended up figuring out how to fix it, and I was able to set up the tent correctly. The next few questions are about the market atmosphere and customer interactions. So the first question is, how was the overall atmosphere of the market? I say that the overall atmosphere of the market was pretty good. I think that this flow of foot traffic was steady, and overall it was a successful event. How did customers react to your products? So they reacted very well. People inquired about different sizes for things, and people also asked me about products I didn't necessarily sell or have made before, such as like bags. Some people asked about clothing items and matching sets. I also had one customer ask me about creating a larger bulk order. So I say overall, people responded very well. People were really intrigued with my products. They were fascinated that I made everything by hand. So overall, definitely a good response from people. The next question is, were there any memorable interactions with customers? I say my most memorable interaction with the customer was when a little girl came over with her mom and she purchased an item and she ended up paying with her own money. So I really like that interaction, just to see that the mother was teaching her daughter like how to manage her money and like how to spend her own money. So yeah, that was pretty cool. The next question is, how did your sales compare to your expectations? My sales goal was just one sale. I would have been happy if I only had one sale throughout the entire day, but I ended up making 5 sales. So I was super overjoyed about that because, again, I only wanted to sell one. So the fact that I had, well, not sell one, but I only wanted one sale. So the fact that I had 5 sales were pretty good. And I don't think I mentioned it, but the event was from 3 to 8 p.m. So I was there for 5 hours. So 5 sales in 5 hours was good enough for me for my first event, and just first time really putting my business out there. I ended up selling 1 beanie, 1 scrunchie, and 3 octopus plushies, which honestly was very interesting. I thought I would sell like 1 plushie and mainly sell hats or scrunchies, but the fact that I sold more plushies, it actually made me think, like, do I want to mainly sell plushies? Or I am still trying to figure out like what my niche is, and yeah, I'm trying to figure out what my niche is for the most part. So that's why I wanted to have a variety of products. And I will say that the amount of money I made was $58, which again, it's not a lot, but for me, it exceeded my expectations. So I was happy with my $58, okay? And so, like I said, my best sellers were the octopus plushies, which you can now buy on my Etsy shop, which is in the description below. So yeah, if you're interested in any of my plushies or honestly any of my products, please check out my Etsy shop, because by the time this video is posted, I would have updated my Etsy listings. So as far as the overall experience, the next question is, would you participate in the market again? Why or why not? And my answer would be maybe. The pros of the event was that it was free for me to, like, I didn't have a registration fee to be a vendor, so it was free, which is why I said maybe, because I think that since it was free, it wasn't necessarily like I lost out on anything. But I'd say a con would be that I didn't necessarily have a lot of sales compared to some of the other vendors who, like, there were some vendors that sold drinks. I feel like a lot of the food and drink vendors had a lot of customers. There was another woman, like, people were selling different things. Like, someone was selling natural skincare products. Someone was selling clothing. Someone was selling customized tumblers. And so, yeah, that's why I'm like, would I do this again? I don't know. It just depends. But I'm looking forward to doing other types of events so I can, again, figure out, like, what I want to niche down or niche in. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say, though? To figure out, like, what my specialty is, and also just to figure out like who my target market is. Last question I have is, how do you plan to adjust your approach for the next event based on this experience? One thing I would do differently for my next event where I'm a vendor, I would have some kid size items, because for example, there was one little girl who was interested in one of my ruffle hats, but it was made for an adult, so it was too big for her. And so that's something I didn't take into account. For my next event, I would like to have some kid-sized products. I would also like to have a variety of plushies. I only made the octopus plush for the event, so maybe having like 1 or 2 other options would be nice. And I guess another thing that I learned was that people, even though I did one hat, I don't think people were particularly interested in buying hats because it's the summertime. And I feel like a lot of people have this mindset that if you wear a hat made of yarn in the summer, it's like too hot. But it's actually, in my opinion, they're not too hot. But yeah, people weren't really interested in hats. So maybe I could focus on like other products during the summer and then push hats in the cooler, colder weather. To conclude the video, overall, I say my first vendor event market was a success in my eyes, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one. I am looking into doing 1 or 2 more events before this year ends, so I'll definitely be documenting that process. And if you enjoy what I'm discussing here and just want to continue going on this journey with me, please subscribe to my channel, check out my TikTok, check out my Pinterest, and most importantly, check out my Etsy shop. So stay tuned for my next video, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.